Hello there, welcome to the virtual drive. So as I said, I've been using the phone for around a week and now I've come with a conclusion. I have a few suggestions for Nokia as well as to the customers who are planning to buy the phone. So let me start with the display. So the display is a full HD display and the PPI is quite very well for this range of phone. I was comparing the Nokia 6 along with the iPhone 7 Plus, and there was not much of a difference. Of course the iPhone 7 scores well, but still the display is okay for the phone of this budget range, and the videos when you play it look extremely good. You don't have a problem with that. So let me show you with a full brightness turn on. So this is how the phone looks like. So I've actually turned the phone totally into a Windows launcher phone. I've never liked the Android OS very much. I've been a Lumia user for such a long period of time. So the display, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for the current price point. You also have this always on display where you can see the time and notifications. Show you that pretty later. Next up is the design. Finally, Nokia has come up with a very nice design. It looks very premium, unlike the Lumia phones, which were quite not very interesting. So this is the always on display. You can to see the time, and you have the notifications as well. You can see that I have an Instagram post, Outlook, and messaging. So this is how it looks like. So you have the camera with the Zeiss optics. That is a quite rectangle shaped carving there. There is not much of a bump of the camera. You can place it down. As this is a Nokia, you don't have to buy cases or other kinds. It's gonna last long. It is a single piece aluminum body. The fingerprint sensor is at the back. Quite good. So next up is the ergonomics. Overall, what I would like to say is that this phone has pretty lot of disadvantages, but it totally depends on the perspective of the person who is buying the phone. So first up, starting with the ergonomics, it's very poor, I'd say. I was holding this phone for quite a long time and then my hand started paining. You can see that this is a unibody aluminum frame, so this edges are quite sharp, so you cannot hold it for very long. It feels a little bit uncomfortable. The weight of the phone is also too high. I mean, you can clearly feel it feels heavy, especially if you're someone who watches a lot of video. You need to keep it in front of your face. The phone is really heavy, so that is again a disadvantage. It can also be an advantage because the phone does feel very robust. It does not break easy, so that's again a 50-50. Next up, talking about the sound, you just have a mono speaker which is at the bottom, so you have to always place your phone this way so as to hear the ringtones, or else you're not going to hear it. Not only for ringtones, but if you're watching videos or any other stuff, then it turns out to be very low, so the audio is not up to the mark. It's not very crisp. Another disadvantage of the Nokia. So let's talk about the camera now. I have a few samples which I would like to share. Camera is again the worst part of the Nokia. So this is the camera setup, and you can see that it is a pro mode that you can select here. When you slide it up, you get all the features like you can adjust the shutter speed, ISO is over here, and then you have a manual focus. You can also adjust whether you are in a cloudy place or inside the room, to tungsten light, etc. So the pro mode, the camera is quite good, but when you are subject to auto shots, it's very poor. The camera samples will follow up now. And talking about the front camera, it is very bad. It's not up to the expectation, because I was taking a lot of samples and most of them turned out to be very blurred. I thought it was my mistake, my hands were shaky or something like that, but it wasn't so. That the photos that you take with the front camera are very shaky, but when you turn on the flash for the rear camera, it's pretty good. Those who are very creative at taking photos, who want a pro mode where you can manually adjust all your settings to your requirement, then it is surely a thumbs up for you. Next up, we go into the software. So it runs totally on Android's purest version. It is a Oreo. Another plus point with Nokia is that you also get updates very quickly. I mean, like, this received all the updates that Oreo had recently got, so everything is really good with the Android. You don't get this kind of swift upgrades with other phones, especially even Samsung delays updates. It takes 1 year for them to bring up an update, but with Nokia all these phones have been receiving very quick updates. As you can see, the user interface is Windows type. You have a control center like thing at the rear, and then at the top you have a notification. This is totally customized. So overall, when we talk about the phone, the speed is very good. This is a very user-friendly phone. Even if you have problem with the edges, which I was saying before, you could get used to a case. You can put on a case and it will be really good. And for camera, I do not know what to do. You don't have any other alternate. The camera is really poor. Even though they do a lot of improvements on the photos with the softwares, they look really good. But since Nokia always stays to the original photos, they don't do much of image processing with the photos that you have taken. So this is the kind of clarity that you can expect. I was comparing the front cameras with other phones, and the front camera is really bad. This is not for the first time. I was using a Lumia 1520. Even with that, it was really bad. I don't know why Nokia is not concentrating much on its camera department, especially the front camera. Zeiss lens seems to be of no use. It also has a face ID. It takes a photo of your face and uses it to unlock your phone. Unfortunately, Oreo 8.1 removed it, so I can't show a demo. If you're someone who wants a reliable phone that wants to last to up to 5 years or so, then I'd surely say to go with the Nokia 6. It is very sturdy. I've dropped it a number of times and it still looks good. You don't need a case for this kind of phone. It's a solid phone. And then the speed and for the updates. So all these are going to look good. It's not going to get hung up like other Android phones. You don't need to worry about the phone slowing up after 1 or 2 years of usage. This is really not going to happen.